Hello, Earthlings. Hello, human naughts. It's ArtzyDude, and you've reached the ArtzyDude channel and my art studio somewhere here in the great United States of America. It's the place where creativity is more important than knowledge, but the acquisition of great knowledge. It's an art form, and the two, yes, two of them, they go hand in hand. They really do, and I say that at the beginning of my videos because I believe that. Creativity. Knowledge is one thing. Knowledge, you see something and you go, that's a hand. But creativity teaches you to look beyond the hand, to look behind the hand, to look at the top of the hand, to look at the bottom of the hand, to look around and through it. Okay? Only then can you really understand what that hand is all about. Okay? So creativity, it's important. So it's Sunday. Those of you who are waking up with a hangover or waking up, not waking up, maybe some of you haven't even gone to bed yet. But those of you who are waking up with a hangover, be careful out there. Don't overdo it. Keep your head clear, okay? It's okay to microdose once in a while. Take the stress away. But don't become addicted. There's too much to know. There's too much coming about in the months ahead. You want to have a clear head for this. You don't want to be juiced up and out of it. Plus, we have these beautiful bodies, these beautiful shells. We don't want to ruin those shells. You know, you microdose too much, you macrodose, you're drunk all the time. It's not good for you. You ruin your body. We're only here for a short period of time in these shells. Let's make the best use of them. They're great shells, okay? Let's make use of them. So be careful out there. Don't ruin your bodies, all right? Stay away from drugs. Stay away from all kinds of addictive behavior that will take over your mind. Keep a clear head. You know, C.W. Chanter, my friend over there at his channel, C.W. Chanter, he talks about keeping a clear head. He's been through a lot. Listen to him. He's a smart man. Go visit his channel. He'll talk to you about keeping a clear head. He's a good guy. So what am I doing these days? I'm reading a book right now called Biocentrism. You see that? Biocentrism. It's by Dr. Robert Lanza, okay, and Bob Berman, the astronomer. And how did I come about this book? Well, I came about the book by Christopher, our A-lister from Hollywood. You remember Christopher? He's the A-lister from Hollywood with the famous family, with mom and dad with stars on the Walk of Fame, and probably the two most famous people in Hollywood for the last 50 years, up in the top, say, 5. And that's what he says. And I believe his story. I believe he's being visited, he's being surrounded by this phenomenon of some sort, which has been going on for about 7 to 9 months now. And it started with alien spacecraft, and it's moved on to consciousness and smoke beings and other things of that sort. And I believe the guy's story. I mean, I believe he's telling the truth, but we don't know. Some people believed in Corey Goode with the blue avians. I didn't buy into that, you know. I did for a little bit. I started to enjoy the story and then realized this is way too incredulous because there was no proof whatsoever. In Christopher's case, there was proof. His wife actually saw the same phenomenon. And so there was some proof there. And I believe something is going on. But the way I came about the book was he was driving back from work one day back to his house in Malibu, as I understand. He was having a conversation in his mind with these beings, and he said, look, if you guys are real, if this is really happening to me and I'm not losing my mind, then show me a sign. And instantly the word biocentrism came into his head. Biocentrism. He didn't know what it was. He went home, looked it up, saw the book, read the book, contacted the author, and then realized, wow, this is what they've been trying to tell me. So I thought, I'm going to give this a shot, and I'm going to read the book and see what it's all about. And it's an amazing book. It's a new paradigm in thinking about how we are all connected consciously and biocentrically through the earth. We're all connected. Everything is connected. You know what I mean? It's kind of like how is it like a thunderstorm or a tornado or a climax, a sexual climax, how it's all connected. You know, we have this bubbling up, this buildup of pressure, build up, and then there's a tornado or a thunderstorm and it releases and all the rain comes and the tornado comes, the climax releases, and then we're all back into this sort of euphoric feeling and it's calm. Now, it's interesting that there are so many correlations between things in nature and what we do every day. I want to read an excerpt from this book where he talks about rainbows. And those are, of course, rainbows are the sudden appearance of those prismatic colors juxtaposed between mountains. They can take our breath away. They certainly can. But the truth is that we, humans, are absolutely necessary for the rainbow's existence. When nobody is there, there simply is no rainbow. Which brings to mind the old adage, if a tree falls in the forest and there's no one there to hear it, does it make a sound? Well, Biocentrism, the book, makes a sound case for that too. They talk about that. And they make a pretty charismatic case that the tree falling in the forest does not make a sound when nobody's there to hear it. And it's too lengthy for me to explain here. But if you get the book and you read it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. And it's not a thick book. It's not a big, deep read. You don't have to have a PhD to understand what they're saying. It's a good read, okay? So check it out. Let me get back to this rainbow excerpt, though. He said there's three components that are necessary for a rainbow, okay? There must be sun, there must be raindrops, and there must be a conscious eye or its surrogate, film, or a camera at the correct geometric location. If your eyes look directly opposite the sun, that is, at the anti-solar point, which is always marked by the shadow of your head, the sunlit water droplets will produce a rainbow that surrounds that precise spot at a distance of 42 degrees. But your eyes must be located at the spot where the refracted light from the sunlit droplets converges to complete the required geometry. A person standing next to you will complete his or her own geometry and will be at the apex of a cone for an entirely different set of droplets, and will therefore see a separate rainbow. Their rainbow is very likely to look like yours, but it needn't be so. The droplets that their eyes intercept may be a little bit different size, and larger droplets make for more vivid rainbow, while at the same time robbing it of the color blue, okay? Then too, if the sunlit droplets are very nearby, as from a lawn sprinkler, for instance, the person nearby may not see a rainbow at all. Your rainbow is yours alone. But now we get to the point. What if no one's there? Answer: no rainbow. An eye-brain system, or its surrogate, a camera, whose results will only be viewed later by a conscious observer, they must be present to complete the geometry. As real as the rainbow looks, it requires your presence just as much as it requires sun and rain, is what he's saying. In the absence of anyone or any animal, it is easy to see that no rainbow is present. Or, if you prefer, there are countless trillions of potential bows, each one blurrily offset from the next by the minutest of margins. None of this is speculative or philosophical. It's the basic science that would be encountered in any grade school earth science class, okay? Few would dispute the subjective nature of rainbows, which figure so prominently in fairy tales that they seem only marginally to belong to our world in the first place. It is when we fully grasp that the sight of a skyscraper is just as dependent on the observer that we have made the first required leap to the true nature of things. This leads us to the first principle of biocentrism, okay? The first principle of biocentrism is this: What we perceive as reality is a process that involves our consciousness. Wow, that's amazing when you think about it. Now, I'm sorry if I wasn't totally clear when I read that. It's kind of hard to read through my specs, the mind varn. It's kind of hard to read some of that. But what he's saying basically is you got water, you got sunlight, and you got your eyes. But if your eyes don't see it, and you have just waters and sunlight, water droplets and sunlight, is there a rainbow? In other words, all of that information has to come through our eyes, bounce off the back of our retinas, and filter that information into our occipital lobe. And only then do we see a rainbow. So it's interesting when you think about all of these different things in that context. There's so much deeper meaning in everything. You know what I mean? It's crazy. So what does it all mean? I don't know. But there's lots to learn. There's much to learn. There is much to learn. And sometimes I ramble and I'm trying to figure out what to say, but I'm so mesmerized by this book that it's changed my thinking a little bit. And it's a good thing, because we get stuck in our tunnel vision. We get in this tunnel vision that we think things are a certain way. We're taught that everything is black and white. We grow up and everything's black and white, and right or wrong, or up or down, or in or out, or whatever, right? That's what we're taught in school. But yet, as you get older, you realize there's just simply multiple shades of gray. Like, what have we been taught all these years? Or what have we not been taught? That's an interesting question. Well, listen, I wanted to bring that up, that book about biocentrism, what I was reading. I think, there's only a few people following me right now, and that's okay. I appreciate you following me. I know I'm not a superstar on YouTube or anything like that, and nor do I plan to be, and nor is that my goal to monetize this channel or to, seek funding or anything like that. I just like to chat a little bit, try to bring a little bit of love to the world, and maybe a little bit of good advice, experience from my years of walking this planet. Okay? So listen, I'm going to sign off for now, but as I always do, please be kind to your animals. You see my little animal right there? Be kind to your animals. Take care of your cats and dogs. Love on them. Feed them well. They take care of you. Be respectful to your elders, please. Your elders have raised you. They've done the best they can do. They've sacrificed so that you can have a better life. Go back and watch some of the history of the Great Depression, or what we call the greatest generation. Talk about sacrifice. Those people sacrificed everything. Those are your grandparents, your parents, my parents. They're elders. Revere them. Revere them the way the Navajo did, the way the Cherokee did, okay? The Comanche, they revered their elders. Take care of them. What else? Be kind to one another. Always be kind to one another. Let's change the paradigm. There's so much evil, so much anger. People are driving in their cars and they're angry, and there's drive-by shootings. It doesn't have to be this. Why can't we get along? We're going to have to change the paradigm. Look, once it becomes a reality that there are multiple civilizations visiting this earth, and we start to see them up in the sky, and we look up and we go, oh my God, what is that? And there's craft flying all around. We're no longer going to be Afghans and Iranians and Israelites and Americans and Russians. We're going to be what? Humans. Earthlings. That's what we're going to be. So we got to tighten it up. We got to get along. Do you remember the movie Independence Day? How everybody came together to fight off the bad alien? Well, in the same scenario, we're going to have to come together as a people of the world. A people of the world. We're going to have to come together and unite and get along. We're going to have differences. This whole one world government thing, what's wrong with that? If everybody's represented equally, if everybody is represented equally and no one is left out of the equation, and it's not run by government or private industry, and everybody has a say, then we all have a say, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. We have to sort of get past this fear of this tribalism that we have. All of our countries staying within our boundaries and fighting, and we got to stay behind the barbed wire, and that's my property. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. We need to adopt a worldview. We are human beings, all of us. We have a different skin color. We all bleed red. We all have 2 eyes and 2 ears. We're all the same. We have to get past our differences. You know what? Got to get past our differences. Black, white, Indian, Japanese, doesn't matter. We can still have our cultural differences. We can still have the cultural differences of, if you're Mexican, you have your traditions, and if you're Italian, you have your traditions. If you're Russian, you have your traditions. That's your culture. But we can still become one race, one humanity. Only then, I think, we'll be ready to take the first step into the neighborhood of our galactic neighborhood, if you will. You know what I mean? We'll be ready to step out our front door into the galactic neighborhood. So, be kind to one another. Change the paradigm. Do the best we can. You know, help people. Be good to the creatures around you. You see a bug? Don't smash them. Just pick them up and put them outside. They won't hurt you. Most bugs won't hurt you. Put them outside. We're all related in some aspect. Something. We're all related. It's like the butterfly effect. You know what I mean? Do you know what the butterfly effect is? Look it up. It's an interesting concept. All right, everybody. Love you guys. Much peace to the world. And ArtzyDude's going to sign off for now. I hope you have a great weekend. See ya. Bye-bye.